Fiduciary duties real estate questions. Question 1. A practice question describes a licensee engaged to represent the owner in marketing and negotiating a property. Which response is best? Option A, special agent. Option B, accounting duty. Option C, seller's agent. Option D, implied agency. The correct answer is option C, seller's agent. Known material facts still must be disclosed as required to buyers. The agency relationship should be established and disclosed in writing. The representative seeks lawful terms favorable to the owner and must protect the owner's confidential information. Question 2. During a lease negotiation, which principle is illustrated by a relationship created when a principal later approves an act performed without prior authority? Option A, client. Option B, subagent. Option C, express agency. Option D, agency by ratification. The correct answer is option D, agency by ratification. Ratification cannot validate an illegal act. The principal must know the material facts and accept the benefit or conduct. The approval treats the authorized result as though authority existed at the time of the act. Question 3. Which answer states the concept associated with the obligation to follow the principal's lawful instructions within the agency scope in the per-listing meeting described? Option A, obedience duty. Option B, commingling. Option C, customer. Option D, client. The correct answer is option A, obedience duty. An agent must carry out authorized directions even when another approach seems more profitable. Illegal or unethical instructions must not be followed. The brokerage agreement defines the limits of authority.
Stressed about your property and casualty? We can take property and casualty for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. A listing broker handling a townhouse in Laurel must identify unauthorized use or control of money belonging to another person. Which choice is correct? Option A, procuring cause. Option B, conversion. Option C, express agency. Option D, designated agency. The correct answer is option B, conversion. Prompt restitution does not erase the original violation. The misconduct goes beyond improper mixing and involves treating entrusted funds as one's own. Strict trust-account controls are designed to prevent this harm. Question 5. During a due diligence meeting for a vacant parcel in College Park, Zane needs to identify the rule described as a representation relationship created by written or oral agreement. Which answer applies? Option A, agency by ratification. Option B, client. Option C, express agency. Option D, obedience duty. The correct answer is option C, express agency. The parties intentionally state that the agent will act for the principal. The scope of authority is determined by the agreement and applicable law. Real estate licensing law often requires the brokerage agreement to be written. Question 6. A associate broker is reviewing a single-family home in Silver Spring. Which term describes one agent or brokerage representative acting for both sides in the same transaction with required informed consent? Option A, customer. Option B, obedience duty. Option C, universal agent. Option D, dual agent. The correct answer is option D, dual agent. Without valid consent, representing both sides can violate agency law. The arrangement creates inherent conflicts because the parties' bargaining interests may differ. The agent must remain neutral on confidential matters and comply with state-specific authorization rules. Question 7. At a property management audit, a Maryland exam candidate encounters the following description: an agent authorized to act broadly in nearly all matters for the principal. Which concept is being tested? Option A, universal agent. Option B, implied agency. Option C, special agent. Option D, fiduciary duty. The correct answer is option A, universal agent. A comprehensive power of attorney may create such authority. Most real estate licensees serve under narrower special authority. This level of authority is uncommon in ordinary brokerage representation. Question 8. Quinton is assisting with a waterfront parcel transaction in Baltimore. Which principle applies when the facts involve the obligation to put the principal's lawful interests ahead of the agent's competing interests? Option A, express agency. Option B, loyalty duty. Option C, subagent. Option D, reasonable care. The correct answer is option B, loyalty duty. Full informed consent is required when a permitted conflict exists. The agent may not favor another party because of a better commission opportunity. Secret profits, undisclosed conflicts, and self-dealing violate this responsibility.
Are you looking for property and casualty actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access property and casualty study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get property and casualty answer key today.
Question 9. Which answer most accurately identifies an agent authorized through another agent who owes duties to the principal represented by the appointing brokerage in a real estate transaction? Option A. Agency by ratification. Option B. Procuring cause. Option C. Subagent. Option D. Conversion. The correct answer is option C. Subagent. The cooperating licensee does not automatically become the buyer's representative merely by working with the buyer. Agency status depends on the established relationship and required disclosures. The cooperating representative owes fiduciary duties to the principal even without a direct agreement with that principal. Question 10. A question arising during contract revision concerns information that could influence a reasonable person's decision about a transaction. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A. Confidentiality duty. Option B. Implied agency. Option C. Ministerial act. Option D. Material fact. The correct answer is option D. Material fact. The importance of the fact depends on its effect on value, desirability, safety, or bargaining. Known significant defects and transaction conditions must be disclosed when law requires. Confidential motivation is treated differently from a material property condition. Question 11. While analyzing a mixed-use property, Jonah must apply the concept involving a brokerage arrangement assigning different affiliated licensees to represent opposing clients while the broker manages conflicts under state law. Which answer should be selected? Option A. Designated agency. Option B. Commingling. Option C. General agent. Option D. Conversion. The correct answer is option A. Designated agency. Each assigned representative advocates for one client and protects that client's confidential information. The structure is intended to provide representation within the same brokerage without one salesperson advising both sides. The supervising broker's role and consent requirements depend on the jurisdiction. Question 12. Which real estate term is defined by a relationship inferred from conduct rather than clearly stated agreement? Option A. Ministerial act. Option B. Implied agency. Option C. Customer. Option D. Seller's agent. The correct answer is option B. Implied agency. Clear disclosure and documentation reduce accidental agency claims. Repeated advice and advocacy can create expectations of representation even when no writing exists. Licensees should avoid conduct that conflicts with required written brokerage agreements. Question 13. In a transaction involving a small apartment building, which rule controls when there is the broker activity that begins an uninterrupted chain of events leading to a completed transaction? Option A. Reasonable care. Option B. Special agent. Option C. Procuring cause. Option D. Buyer's agent. The correct answer is option C. Procuring cause. Merely introducing a person to a property is not always sufficient if the chain was abandoned or broken. The listing and cooperation agreements govern the compensation analysis. Compensation disputes may turn on who caused the buyer and seller to reach agreement. Question 14. A landlord asks about a licensee engaged to represent a purchaser or prospective purchaser. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A. Fiduciary duty. Option B. Subagent. Option C. General agent. Option D. Buyer's agent. The correct answer is option D. Buyer's agent. The relationship and compensation terms should be stated in the brokerage agreement. Confidential information about the buyer's motivation or maximum price must be protected. The representative assists with evaluation, offer preparation, negotiation, and protection of the buyer's interests. Question 15. PREA encounters a high duty of loyalty, care, disclosure, obedience, accounting, and confidentiality owed by an agent to a client during a pre-listing meeting. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A. Fiduciary duty. Option B. Dual agent. Option C. Customer. Option D. Accounting duty. The correct answer is option A. Fiduciary duty. The agent must place the client's lawful interests above personal gain within the scope of the relationship. Material information must be communicated while confidential negotiating information remains protected. The duty does not permit illegal instructions or dishonesty toward other parties. Question 16. Which choice best matches the description: a routine service that does not involve discretion, confidential advice, or advocacy? Option A, procuring cause. Option B, ministerial act. Option C, customer. Option D, accounting duty. The correct answer is option B, ministerial act. Performing such tasks does not necessarily create an agency relationship. Providing factual information or assisting with forms may fall within this category when no judgment is exercised. The licensee must avoid crossing into representation without the required agreement and disclosure. Question 17. During review of a duplex in Hagerstown, the parties discuss mixing client or trust funds with a broker's personal or operating money. Which term applies? Option A, reasonable care. Option B, universal agent. Option C, commingling. Option D, client. The correct answer is option C, commingling. Separate accounts protect the owners of the funds and permit accurate accounting. Conversion is more serious because it involves unauthorized use of the money. Even without theft, mixing funds can violate licensing rules. Question 18. An exam scenario presents the obligation to safeguard and accurately report money or property belonging to the principal. Which answer is most accurate? Option A, material fact. Option B, implied agency. Option C, seller's agent. Option D, accounting duty. The correct answer is option D, accounting duty. Detailed records allow the principal and regulators to verify handling. Funds must be separated, documented, and delivered according to law and agreement. Unauthorized use or commingling violates the trust placed in the agent.
Stressed about your property and casualty? We can take property and casualty for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A licensee preparing for a property management audit must recognize the obligation to communicate material information relevant to the principal's decisions. Which concept does this describe? Option A, disclosure duty. Option B, client. Option C, loyalty duty. Option D, obedience duty. The correct answer is option A, disclosure duty. Personal interests and conflicts must also be disclosed. The duty supports informed decision-making by the client. The agent should promptly share offers, facts, and risks that could affect the transaction. Question 20. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving a person who has entered into an agency or brokerage agreement for representation? Option A, universal agent. Option B, client. Option C, designated agency. Option D, express agency. The correct answer is option B, client. The relationship should be disclosed so other parties understand the licensee's role. Compensation alone does not necessarily determine who is represented. The representative owes fiduciary obligations defined by law and the agreement. Question 21. At a settlement preparation in Annapolis, Amina explains a transaction participant who receives services but is not represented as a client. Which real estate principal is involved? Option A, client. Option B, universal agent. Option C, customer. Option D, designated agency. The correct answer is option C, customer. The licensee must act honestly and disclose material facts but does not owe undivided loyalty. The person should not assume confidential advice or negotiation advocacy is being provided. Agency disclosures help distinguish this role from represented status. Question 22. A transaction file for an office building raises an issue involving the obligation to use the skill and diligence expected of a competent real estate professional. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, seller's agent. Option B, material fact. Option C, buyer's agent. Option D, reasonable care. The correct answer is option D, reasonable care. The duty does not make the licensee a lawyer, engineer, or tax advisor. The licensee should verify information, meet deadlines, and recommend appropriate expert assistance. Negligent performance can create liability even without intentional misconduct. Question 23. Which concept should a property manager apply to facts involving an agent authorized to perform a specific task or transaction? Option A, special agent. Option B, implied agency. Option C, client. Option D, procuring cause. The correct answer is option A, special agent. A listing broker generally receives limited authority to market and negotiate rather than to transfer title for the owner. The relationship ends when the assigned purpose is completed or otherwise terminated. The agent cannot exceed the powers granted in the agreement. Question 24. For a fiduciary duties real estate question study session, Priya analyzes a vacant parcel during a contract drafting meeting in Westminster. Rina is studying a rule concerning an agent authorized to handle a series of transactions within an ongoing business area. Which term should be chosen? Option A, disclosure duty. Option B, general agent. Option C, loyalty duty. Option D, procuring cause. The correct answer is option B, general agent. This role is broader than authority limited to one specific sale. A property manager often receives broad operational authority for the managed property. The agent may bind the principal only within the granted scope. Question 25. When a historic residence transaction involves the obligation to protect private information learned through representation, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A, universal agent. Option B, obedience duty. Option C, confidentiality duty. Option D, buyer's agent. The correct answer is option C, confidentiality duty. The duty can continue after the agency relationship ends. It does not permit concealment of material property defects that law requires to be disclosed. Negotiating limits, motivation, and personal circumstances generally remain protected unless disclosure is authorized or legally required.